Hello, everybody. I am joined here with Mike McGurr, K9AJ. Now, Mike, a lot of people, you may know him. He's a retired emergency room doctor, but he originally got into HF big time. He is on the honor roll, only needing a CW from North Korea, and he's operated from 30 DXCC entities, including his most recent one, that big D expedition that they had to South Sandwich and South Georgia. Welcome aboard, Mike.
Thank you.
What most people don't know about Mike is he's got a little hidden secret. He's a big IOTA guy, right?
I didn't think it was a big secret.
Well, he's very into IOTA. And why don't you explain to people what IOTA is all about?
IOTA is a program that I got interested in because I had all the DXCC countries work that were workable, and I needed something to keep me busy and be a challenge. And I went through 5-band WAZ, and then I still needed a challenge, so I started to count islands. And I actually went through all my cards, and I had a couple of shoe boxes of cards, and I wound up with 750 or so many IOTA counters. I said, wow, that's really neat. So I started chasing islands.
So what is an IOTA for those that don't know?
An IOTA is an island or a group of islands that's designated by the RSGB IOTA program as being a counter, and they assign a continent dash a number for each island or island group, and you collect them as you would DXCC countries.
Now, I used to live on a lake, and there was a little island in the middle of our lake. Would that count as an island on the air?
If it's a freshwater lake, something like the Great Lakes or something like that, or even smaller, probably no. Generally, the islands we're talking about have salt water around them,
So
or
it has to have salt
at least
water.
brackish sort of salt water.
Brackish means the fresh water is mixing with the salt water.
Yeah.
So, but when in doubt, where can they go to figure out if it's an IOTA?
We have
The Bible?
the Bible. This is the Bible. It's the IOTA directory. It has everything you ever want to know about working islands, activating islands, and getting credit for islands, where they are. That has latitude and longitude for virtually every IOTA island that's been established. And you can get this. I got this at the RSGB booth at Dayton last year, but it's on the ARRL bookstore. You can go there and you can find it. If you chase IOTA, this is absolutely necessary.
Now, how many islands on the air are there?
There are somewhat under 1,200. Not all those have been activated yet. I think the highest scores that I've seen is like 1120 or 1130 or something in that neighborhood. That's the people who have worked the most that have been worked.
Now, I know there was a lot of people that really got into the national parks on the air and activating these national parks. So if they're looking for something to do, how hard would it be for them to go and activate an island?
A lot of the islands are very easy to activate. A lot of the islands you can drive over bridges to along the East Coast and Florida. You don't even have to get your feet wet.
And you just use your regular call?
You just use your call, and if you think about you want to generate some activity, you can put something out on one of the IOTA reflectors. There's a Yahoo reflector for IOTA, and you can put out there, hey, I'm going to go activate this IOTA, and you'll find out people may want to work you.
And you just need special QSL cards then with your IOTA number on it. They're going to want cards?
The card does not necessarily need to have the IOTA number on it. It needs the island name.
Okay.
The island name, and it can't be handwritten. So if you have your own card from home, you can't write the island name. It has to be printed on the card, but you can do that with a mailing label, with a label. The QSO label you print from your computer, if it has the IOTA island name on it, then you're good to go.
Because I went to Saba, so that was probably an IOTA, PJ6.
Yeah.
And I just had the name of the island. Let me grab my card here.
As long as the island name is on it, you don't have to have the number.
Oh, I did put the IOTA number on
Yeah.
here. I operated from NA 145. So
There you go.
very good. Now, how many have you
something-
operated from?
Oh, 40 or
40 or 50?
so, 50, something like that. Something about IOTA. If you activate an island, you get credit for it. Unlike DXCC, where if you go to activate a DXCC counter, you don't necessarily get automatic credit
Because you can't
for
work
it.
yourself from the island.
IOTA program gives you credit for being on the island.
Just
that
as
you
if you
activate.
work the island.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's really nice. That's really nice because I know a lot of countries Jerry needs, he goes to. So it's hard for him to work that country
Right.
because he's on that island.
Right.
So, yeah, that's kind of nice. Now, if anybody was interested in learning about IOTA, I know we have the IOTA Bible. Is there websites or places you can go to get more information on working islands on the air?
www.rsgbiota, all one word, no spaces, .org is a good reference source. You can go there, and that's where you go to enter your credits when you get your card, so you can get a score once a year. That's where you go to see what's on the air, what's coming up, what's active right now. It tells you if that island's ever been on the air before. It tells you how many people, what percentage of people who have claimed credits have that one confirmed, and it tells you the call signs of previous operations.
And I noticed, speaking of getting credit for it, I noticed this beautiful plaque here, and that is for what? What is that for?
Well, the plaque itself was for working 1,000 IOTA count, or having 1,000 IOTA counters confirmed. But then I have some endorsement plaques on it, so this is actually my 1,100 trophy.
Out of almost 1,200, so that's pretty good.
Yes,
You're almost done.
So I have the endorsements for 1025, 1050, 1075, and then most recently 1,100. Yeah.
And do you guys have any kind of IOTA contests or anything like that?
There is a contest. I believe it's the third. I could be wrong. I think it's the third weekend in July. And the nice thing about that is, assuming the station that you work, the IOTA that you work, sends its login to the RSGB, you can get automatic credit for that without having to get a card for your honor roll and your listing.
And I notice I use DX World a lot, and I notice he posts a lot about IOTA on there as well. Is that a good place to look to?
It is a good place. If it's a really breaking news, Carl usually has it on the front page. If you want to know what's going on in IOTA, click the IOTA key on the website, and you'll go there and it'll tell you the news of all the IOTA stuff that's on.
And I see there's even an interactive map you can get on qrzcq.com/page/IOTA map. And now, for tracking IOTA, I mean, it's a lot more than DXCC. I mean, almost 1,200 of them. Does typical logging software allow for tracking of IOTA, what you need and what you have?
Most all commonly used ham software, logging software, has it. Now the contest one, like N1MM, that's strictly a logging program. But all the other management programs,
like DX Lab Suite, maybe Ham Radio Deluxe,
that all have IOTA.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Anything else? Any final words? Anything I'm missing here?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. When I was a young ham, a young DXer, we used to get one ringers. One ringer is when
I know, I heard about that.
you hear a one ringer and the phone rings once and they hang up and you run down and you get on a 2-meter repeater and they tell you, hey Mike, go so and so and so and so and so and so. Well, I missed that.
Because there was no cluster. That was your cluster.
It was our cluster, and I missed that. And now what happens? I get phone calls again from my IOTA buddies and say, hey, he's on so and so, and it's like the old times. It's like the old days. And in fact, they don't give a ring. They just call you up and say, hey Mike, get on the air.
Do they spot him on the cluster? They may spot him on the cluster and give the IOTA
Oh yeah,
number.
they're spotted. So if you have that, then if you scroll down the comment section, you'll pick it up.
Find them.
Especially if you're looking for it.
It'd be nice if they just had a cluster for IOTA. So well, one day.
Won't work.
Well, thanks so much for joining us and kind of clearing things up on IOTA, and hopefully for all of you that have the hole in your heart now that Napota's over, you can go activate some islands on the air.
My pleasure.
Thanks.